Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. So to fuel my unnecessary need to collect more lanterns, I bought 2 more lanterns and I bought them from Dietz. I know in my last video I said I probably wouldn't buy any more Dietz lanterns because comparing it to the, I'm gonna call it Feuerhand. That's the American way to say it. The Feuerhand lantern, the quality and the craftsmanship when you compare the Dietz to at least my Feuerhand was, you couldn't compare. The German made lantern was just on a level of its own. But I received a ton of comments. I have learned that there's a lot of folks out there that are extremely passionate about these lanterns, which is a good thing. But I ended up buying 2 more Dietz, so we're gonna try them out. So this is exactly how they came shipped to me. I ordered these off of Amazon, I believe, and they came in a cardboard box, of course, but no packaging around it, just some bubble wrap on both of them. It looks like there's some paper, but mainly just bubble wrap and cellophane. And the 2 that I ordered, guys, this one is going to be the number 8 Air Pilot, and I believe this one is going to be the number 80 Blizzard. But I wanted to unbox these here, and we're gonna do a test at night to see what they look like. The specs on these are basically the exact same. They both hold 31 ounces of fluid. They have a 7/8 inch wick, and they can produce up to 12 candle power. So they're very similar. Sizing though is a little different, but let's get these unboxed and see what they look like. So far, I'm liking this one. So this one is the Air Pilot. I got the bronze finish on it. Ooh. I like this finish, guys. I got the bronze finish on this Air Pilot. That looks nice. So far, I like this one more than the painted versions. That was one of my biggest complaints with my other Dietz, is that the paint on it was just, there was drip lines, there was brush marks. It just kind of looked funky. But this one looks good. So far this is the biggest lantern that I have. That feels good. Okay, man, that's a pretty lantern. You can see it's got the Air Pilot down here. Let me get this bail out of the way. Air Pilot embossed down here on the fuel canister. Got the nice rubber seal on the fuel cap. Okay, we'll dive into this a little bit more. I want to open up this one. I gotta say the packaging, you know, it's not bad for not coming with anything other than bubble wrap. So this one I did get the painted blue. I guess this is kind of like one of the main Dietz colors. A lot of their lanterns come in this blue color. That's a good looking lantern too. Fighting the sun over here. Of course, unfortunately, we've got the Made in China sticker on the bottom there, but I knew that going into it. So the size difference between these two, you can tell. You got the Blizzard and you've got the Air Pilot. That chimney looks a little off. There we go. So in terms of actual height, in case anyone is at all interested, the Air Pilot is sitting to the top of the chimney right around 13.5 inches. And the Blizzard is just a hair taller, almost 15 inches tall. So it's just a hair bigger, but again, they both have the same size 31 ounce fuel base. So let's move in closer and kind of go over some things. I can already see one kind of weird thing on this Air Pilot. If I can get this in screen, there's some like dried bubbles or something from the lacquer or finish. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if that's coming through on camera very well. But let's move in a little bit closer, guys, because I do want to take these wicks out and I want to trim them up a little bit. I do want to cut the corners at about a 45 angle, just a hair, not a lot. I was told that will help with the flame and make it a little bit nicer flame and not just such a broad, wide flame. I could be wrong, but that's how I'm gonna do it on these 2. And then we'll take them out to the backyard and light them up. All right, so I'm gonna start here with the Blizzard. So overall, The finish on this is pretty good. I will say, just like my other Dietz, if you pull up the chimney, you can kind of see some issues. Oh, you can kind of see some issues there where it's just a little off. But that's how my other Dietz was too. So I guess that's just a Dietz thing. They don't finish the inside of the chimney. But obviously the globe just kind of flopped over on accident. But I'm going to take out this burner assembly. And I'm going to take this wick out. You can see this is a nice fat 7/8 inch wick. And I'm going to take it out of here. And what I want to do is just cut 2 small angles on each side of this wick. This might be not correct. It might be correct, not positive. But we're going to give it a nice clean edge. And then I'm going to just kind of trim up the edges here with a 45 cut. On both sides, nothing big, just a tiny little. It's not perfect, but that's how we're going to do it. I'm going to feed this through this wick feeder here. And it feeds really nice. That does no resistance, feels smooth. Pretty decent. So let's get that back in there. Give it a little twist, seat it down in there. Make sure it, obviously that's too tall, I know, but just wanted to make sure it was feeding properly. I'm gonna put this globe back in place. That's all there is to it, guys. Now let's do the same thing. I love this color. This is really, really nice looking lantern. Again, this is the Air Pilot, number 8 Air Pilot. That's coming through on camera. But the globe on this is shorter and fatter. I don't know what that's gonna do in terms of actual light output. I have a feeling these are probably gonna be the same. They're rated at 12 candle power. But let's get this globe tilted out of the way. If I can get to this burner assembly. Same exact wick. And this is why I was gonna trim it up, because it's got a lot of fuzzies on the end. I don't know if that's gonna come through on camera, but there's quite, yeah, let's just clean it up. Trim these corners too, just a little bit, nothing crazy. There we go. Feed it back through here, and it grabbed it pretty easily. There we go. I don't know why, guys, but I just think tinkering around with these lanterns it's pretty fun. And the light that these put out, they're not meant, at least, I don't know about these are pretty big lanterns, but the lanterns that I do have, they're not meant to light up your whole campground. I took one of my small Feuerhand lanterns, the Baby 276, to the Ozarks last weekend, and it was awesome sitting it on the side table while we were all sitting around the fire. It just provided such a cool little ambient lighting. But got that burner back in. Let's get this globe. Ooh, the only problem that I see with this globe, there's some pretty sharp edges right there on that globe. Not too happy about that. This is another difference that I've seen with the Dietz versus my Feuerhand lanterns, is that the globes on the Feuerhand lanterns are impeccable. Very nice glass. Definitely wouldn't, I don't think I would be getting any of these sharp edges with the Feuerhand lanterns, but that's not too good. Not too happy with that, but it's gonna be hidden, and if you take care of it, it should be fine. And I'm kind of OCD, so I want the Dietz label to be somewhat centered. There we go. Now I just use kerosene because I have some of it laying around the house. You can use citronella, paraffin, but let me show you. So for my lanterns and what I take camping with me, because I don't like taking the big huge bottles of kerosene, I bought some of these ketchup squeeze bottles with the little cap on top. And I just fill this thing with kerosene, and that way I don't have to carry a funnel either, because I got this long nozzle that it can kind of just get in here and fill it up. Now I'm not going to fill these things up all the way. I'm just going to get enough in here to get the wick wet, let it soak up to the top. And then once it gets dark outside, we're gonna take these out to the back patio and see what they can do. Now for size comparison, this is probably my favorite lantern. This is the Feuerhand Baby 276. And you can see just how much smaller this little guy is, but these things are built like an absolute tank. They're perfect. I can't find anything wrong with these Feuerhands. I absolutely love these lanterns. But obviously these guys are gonna put out way more light output. I mean, this only has a 1/2 inch wick. These have 7/8 inch wick. So obviously much more light is gonna come out of these two, and much longer burn time. I think these are rated for around 27 hours a piece, both of these lanterns. All right, so kind of the same deal as last lantern video. I've got these outside on the table here at night. I'll cut this light off when I get them all lit, but we're gonna start off here with the number 80 Blizzard. There we go, lower that wick down. All right, now this one is the Air Pilot. This one seems to probably be one of the more popular Dietz versions, but we'll give it a shot. All right. And one thing that I've learned is do not have your wick too tall, obviously. Now, just for kind of size comparison and light output comparison, here is my all-time favorite, my little baby Feuerhand 276. All right, so you can see the size comparison. Absolutely beautiful lights. Let me get these lights cut off, and then I'm gonna do these separately on the table so you can get a better idea of how much light these things actually put off if you had to use them, you know, say for an emergency situation, or if you actually needed light instead of just ambiance. So let me get these lights cut off. There we go. Absolutely just, I love them. Absolutely love them. So I'm gonna get this Feuerhand out of the way because it's not really part of this video. Number 80 Blizzard. That globe is definitely dirty. I will need to clean that next time I use it. You got the bronze Air Pilot. And then you got the little baby Feuerhand way down there. All right, so I'm gonna take both of these away and just leave the Blizzard so you can see how much light it actually puts out on the table. Obviously, way more light than my little Feuerhand puts out. 7/8 inch wick, much larger globe, much more light output, 12 candle power. Let's swap that out for the Air Pilot. And obviously not much difference, it shouldn't be. This also has a 7/8 inch wick, rated at 12 candle power as well. I love the look of this bronze finish though. My wife likes the blue one more. I love this bronze look, and I like the shorter, kind of fatter, stockier globe compared to the Blizzard. But you can't go wrong with either one, but absolutely just love the ambiance that these things put out. And my camera probably won't do this justice, but I'm gonna carry it around the backyard here. See if it'll light up anything. We got the fence. It's just naturally brighter out here in the city, unfortunately, than out where there's not so much light pollution, but it definitely puts out usable light. All right, final shot of all three of them together. All right, guys, there you go. I don't think you can go wrong with any of these, to be honest with you. The smallest one, Feuerhand, is the most expensive at around between 45 and 60 bucks, depending on what color you want. But the rest of the two Dietzes in the back were around the same price, between $40 and $45. So not a terrible price. I know these used to be way cheaper a few years ago, but I guess the popularity of them is increasing the price. So there you go, gang. Continuing my unhealthy habit of buying lanterns.